again, everyone. Today I am here with a fairly small unboxing from Pen Boutique. So I have mentioned Pen Boutique on the channel before, and I was really impressed with their fast service and their shipping and all of that. So I decided to do another order, and mostly because I wanted to get these little mini converters from Sailor. So these little mini converters fit into the Sailor Pro Gear Mini. This currently has a cartridge in it, so I'm not going to try these out, but I did want to point out that if you do have a Sailor mini pen, mini fountain pen, that they do now carry mini converters to go with it, which I thought was just fantastic, because then I don't have to worry about filling empty cartridges, and the converters are a really great way to just use bottled ink. So I'll put that off to the side. That was actually my main reason for purchasing. And then I ended up getting an Opus 88 fountain pen. So this is one of the less expensive Opus 88 fountain pens. This will be my first. I have never purchased one of these before. It is an eyedropper pen. I don't have a lot of eyedropper pens, and I don't have a lot of experience with eyedropper pens, but I'm actually going to try and test it out today for you. I did manage to find my A5 Tomoe River notebook, so I have that handy to do a pen test and all of that. So I'll take this little card off to the side too. They always write a nice little card, and I'll just put that off there. And let me go ahead and open this up. So this, I believe, is called the Picnic, Opus 88 Picnic. Some of the Opus 88, and so that's the sleeve, and then this is the little box. Some of the Opus 88 pens are incredibly large, and I didn't want one that was super large. This one still seems a little big, but it's not crazy. And I'm not going to push the it seems to have a little stop on the case right there, so I'm just going to open it and take these two things out and then close that back up. It does come in a nice box. I was actually really surprised at the size of the box that came. Normally I'm seeing smaller boxes for, you know, just individual fountain pens. And now I'm blanking on what color I got. I don't think I have my receipt handy, but I will look up the color. I'll put a direct link to this particular pen so that you can see it on the website if you'd like. So it came with the pen, this little eyedropper to fill it, and then it came with this, let me put that off to the side there. It came with this little instruction booklet on how to fill. And it is made, where is it made? It said it was made in Taiwan, so this pen is made in Taiwan. And it has instructions in English and then another language on the back. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and follow these instructions. I have an ink that I think will go very nicely with this brown pen. I have Ackerman's SBRE Brown here off to the side. And I will go ahead and fill that top part when we're ready, and I'll show you if you haven't seen the Ackerman ink bottles, they have a really beautiful design, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So it says, place pen vertically. Remove the cap by turning it counterclockwise. So here we go. And this is a medium nib that I got. I was actually kind of surprised at how small the nib is given the size of the pen, but it's still a fairly pretty nib. This is a stainless steel nib. And then it says to undo this bottom portion, and it should have some friction because you want to make sure it's pretty well sealed when you have the eyedropper in there. And it's kind of interesting. It's not just an empty space down in here like some of the cheaper eyedropper fills. There's actually some sort of mechanism in there, and I believe that's to it's sort of like a shut-off valve to shut off the ink flow or allow the ink to flow. So it tells you, okay, so use an eyedropper. I'm going to put that there. An eyedropper to draw in the ink, drop the ink into the barrel. It seems like you don't have to do anything when you're doing that. And then twist the grip back on. And then it says release the bottom tail slightly until the ink flows to the nib. And it says you are fueled to write. So I'm actually going to leave this little instruction thing up here for my reference while I'm going through. I am going to go ahead and put the ink up into the ink reservoir in this bottle. So you turn it upside down, and there's a little marble that falls back down and holds the ink up in this upper section. You could see it when it was clear, but now because that section is full of ink, all the ink is there blocking the marble. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And sometimes there's a little sealing piece of plastic, and sometimes it gets stuck down in there, but it did not get stuck this time. So let's see if I can do this without getting messy. That would really be an amazing feat here, I think. And one nice thing about this little mechanism that's in this ink bottle is that since I'm just doing an eyedropper, it's kind of nice because I know there's going to be ink towards the top of the opening here. So I am just going to pump in and out a little bit to get some ink up in there, and then I'm going to dropper it. Uh-oh. Let's see. Okay, so I'm dropping it sort of drop by drop. At first it was sort of sticking up at the top. I don't know if you could see that, probably not. But now it's flowing down into that section. You can see here where it's filling. I'm going to go ahead and do another eyedropper and put that down in there. And I think I'm going to try and fill it almost to the top. I'm not going to do all the way to the top because I don't know how this pen operates since I haven't used it yet. And I don't want to overfill by accident. Okay, so I think that's probably good. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to put this eyedropper off to the side. I am going to clean it here in a minute. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm going to sort of tap it a little bit, get some of the ink off of those threads. I think it's just going to have some on there regardless. And then it says twist this back onto the pen. And up at the top there's a little gasket or a washer, a rubber washer that is sort of sealing. So I'm hoping that when I do that, it's not going to matter. Yep, we're all good. Okay, so I'm actually gonna, before I do the rest of the process, I'm gonna close this bottle of ink, and I am gonna rinse out that eyedropper. Here to the side, my water is fairly dirty off here, but I wanna be able to reuse that eyedropper, so I don't want it to get stained and stay dirty. You know, you might have some issues with staining in your eyedropper if you have a really staining ink. Seems to be cleaning out pretty well. I'm not showing that to you because of the dirtiness of my water. Okay, but you can hear me doing that. Okay, and I think it's pretty much clean after rinsing it out. You can see here. And then I'm just going to put it on a paper towel to dry. And I'm just going to leave that there, and I probably won't put it away until that has dried. The little liquid in the dropper has been allowed to dry. And you don't want to get a ton of ink in here because then you're going to get it up in this little rubber area here, and then that's going to get all stained and it could get crusty and it could cause this little I don't know what you want to call it, this rubber cap. It could cause it to deteriorate. So I'm going to try not to get ink all the way up in there. And I did the same with the water. I didn't want to get the water all the way up in there. Okay, so let's put the ink aside, the water aside, and let's go to the last step here. And I'm going to get out my Tomoe River notebook so that we can do that. Okay, and so that it says, let me open this back up because I don't think we're supposed to have this closed when we do this. And it says release the bottom tail slightly, and it's showing a movement in this direction. Just slightly. Okay, they said slightly, I'm gonna do it slightly. Let me find a new page here until the ink is flowing. Let's see. Because you want it to get down into that's interesting. So it seems like that is closed, and then the more I go this way, the more it goes into, the more it is released into the pen. We still don't have ink flow yet, so let's see. Let's see if I can open it up a little bit more. It says slightly, so I'm a little afraid to do it too much. And like I said, you're kind of learning along with me in this circumstance, because it can actually go out pretty far. This back end can, and I probably don't want it to go too far. Let's see, I'm going to seal that up again, and you can hear sort of the little rubber piece. So it says, when the pen is not in use, turn the cap bottom tail tightly. Release the ink before taking a flight to avoid, oh, here we go, we're flowing now. To avoid ink leakage. To clean the pen, rinse the nib, grip, barrel section with lukewarm water. Okay, so given this back here, I'm not sure if I want to post it, but I think it doesn't interfere if I post. But it is kind of large. It's a fairly lightweight pen though, so it's not too bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a writing sample here now that we're flowing. So this is Opus 88 with a stainless steel medium nib, and of course this ink is perfect for the pen in my opinion. So this is the Picnic version of the Opus 88 in brown. And then the ink that we have in here is the Ackerman SBRE brown. Okay, so let's see. We're getting good ink flow here. You can definitely see a lot of shading in this ink, and this pen seems to show that well. I'm going to take the cap off and try writing with it that way. It seems to be pretty good. I'm actually now going to seal this back portion, close it up, and see. I assume that eventually you would run out of ink in the feed. Maybe it holds quite a bit, but I would assume that would be the case. I'm actually not going to keep going until that runs out. And it does feel like it's getting a little drier as I keep going. But I'm going to go ahead and put the cap on. And this nib actually writes beautifully. I'm pretty impressed with it. Again, I will have to play with this a little bit more. And like I said, I will get the specific color and type of this pen. You'll be able to see it in the link that I've linked below. So there you go. This is my first Opus 88, so that's exciting. And I don't know what makes some models more expensive than others. I wonder if part of it is the color, because some have sort of like a fancy design. I opted for the brown. For this model, there weren't a whole lot of color choices. I thought this was kind of neutral, and I do kind of like a brown pen. So I thought I would try that out. All right, well that's it for today. Just a short video to show you this pen and show you how it works and ink it up here on camera. So have a great day. Feel free to subscribe so that you can keep track of future videos. I hope to see you there. And until next time, all right, bye-bye.